Perfect.
Beautiful.
My.
Okay.
Beautiful.
All right, let's get started. Fawn's gotta go in like an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's. We don't have a topic today, so we're just talking.
True. What is up, you guys? Welcome to the Savvy Scoundrel Slayers podcast, episode number 9. We are here today just chatting. We really don't have any crazy topics to talk about, but we kind of had a little bit of a conversation. Started before we started recording, and we were like, you know what? This is what we're going to do for the podcast. It's going to be a little bit more laid back and chill, and we're just going to chat about some stuff. Generally, that's what a podcast is, but we're just vibing today. So I'll start off because I had a story about something that happened today that, just really got under my skin.
Mans was steaming.
I even called Fawn. So, all right. So here's the story. So I'm out. I'm having like breakfast with a business associate, right? You're just going out, doing my job, right? And on the way home, Morgan's birthday's coming up, right? So I'm like, I'm going to stop. I'm going to get some liquor, maybe stop by another store and get her a present while we're out. If I'm on the nice side of town, might as well stop and get something nice, right? So I go to the store and, I go and I pick out the liquor that I want to get. And I walk up to the cash register. The lady's like, "Can I see your ID?" Now, it's been a while since I've been carded. So I was like, yeah, sure. Like, pull out my wallet and I, grab my ID and I hand it to her and she scans it and she's like, I can't sell to you. And I was like,
What?
Like, what? Like, what do you mean you can't sell
What
to me?
did you
Like,
say?
yeah.
Like,
What you say? Like, I'm 24. Like, what do you mean you're not going to sell to me? Like, my ID's not cracked, like, or anything like that. Like, my age is right. Like,
Is it expired?
Yes. She goes, your ID, your license is expired, so I can't sell to you. And I was like, what do you mean it's expired? Like, what? And she was like, yeah, your license is expired. So I take my ID back and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my God, she's right. Like, it expired on my birthday this month. And I'm just kind of sitting there like, I just don't even know what to say at that point. So like I did like the walk of shame out of the liquor store, like head low, hood up on my jacket, like, just and then I get in my car. First thing I do is I call Fawn and I'm just like, yo, listen to this.
like I'm having a day.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just having a day. because at that point it clicked in my head, right, that I have now been driving with an expired license for 2 weeks. And if I had been caught, like if I had gotten pulled over by a cop,
you
that
get
would
a
have been
ticket.
a fat ticket. That would have been a fat ticket for driving with an expired license. And my car registration is going to expire this month because it's my birthday. And like, it's fine because like it's good until the end of the month. But that means that like now, like I really have to go get that taken care of because I can't be driving with an expired license and an expired registration because that'd be really bad.
See,
so
I've had my registration or like my car not registered for like 9 months before.
What?
No ticket.
You never
not
got
even pulled over. Nothing.
Damn.
Bro.
There was one time
Cops
that
in
I did
Florida
get
would
pulled
not-
over, and they were like, or I was like, oh yeah, like they told me that I have to drive on it to like get the light back on, because like sometimes they make you drive on it. They're like, oh, just make sure that they could get you temp tags. I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I'll make sure.
You sly dog.
Got a whole 3 months out of that month or out of that year.
Oh my
God.
God.
I've probably
Y'all just
driven a
ride
total
dirty.
of like probably like 2 full years without registered plates. Like
Guys.
over the course of like 9 months, 6 months, whatever.
guys, Auntie responded.
Oh,
What'd he say?
Said, "Hey man, miss you too. Hope the gang is doing well."
Miss Auntie, man. So
Tell him to
sad.
be
And they nerfed
on
his
our
Kench.
podcast.
Facts. They rebinged his Kench though, so he's probably like not
True,
vibing with
he's
the
fucked
ranked
now.
anymore. Yeah,
He's
it's pretty
probably
sad.
bronze now.
After all that hard work to get into gold.
Then they
Yeah,
benched the
learns Tom
Kench.
Kench, and then they're like, "Get that shit out of here."
But yeah,
Oh,
that was my
gosh.
story. I was steaming because then I had to do the whole car ride home, knowing that I didn't get any of the stuff that I wanted to get from Morgan, and
Tragic.
yeah, I was a little peeved.
I mean,
Here's a
like,
good question.
steaming. Yeah, he was
I've-
steaming when he called.
I have a good question.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it's too personal for some of you. Maybe it's not. How much money you got in your bank account right now? How much money you got?
Not a lot.
$4.
$4.
In your checking? Like, are we talking about our checking
No,
account?
total.
Oh,
Checking,
I can't tell y'all
savings.
that. I'm not giving you that kind of information.
I can tell her how much money is in my PayPal.
Give
I
us
can
like
tell you how much money's in my Cash App.
give us like a roundabout idea. It doesn't. You're not getting into detail, but
Some.
I can buy.
There's
I can
money
buy
in
y'all
there.
dinner. I can buy y'all dinner with that money.
Yeah, we could go to dinner. We won't like.
Fair.
I could take everyone out to dinner and not be like stressed about what you order.
I got
We'll
like
leave it there.
I got like 5 to 6 hundo. That's it.
Total.
What?
Total across all my accounts.
He gave it all to Riot.
Yeah,
It's
stop
true.
using it to
Well,
work, like,
actually, I
right
gave a
100
lot of
Thieves.
it to SG.
He gave it a lot of it to 100 Thieves merch.
Well, I'm pretty sure I gifted pretty sure I gave $100 to Twitch this month alone so far.
Wow.
At
Accurate.
Honest is
least, at
like-
least 100. Cause I also gifted 5 subs to one of my old homies that I met when I first started streaming. I just saw that he was streaming again, and I was like, dope. So I just gifted him 5 subs and then left his chat because I was working.
Damn. You balling on a budget, brother.
That's okay. It won't even matter because Honest makes bank over there. He's like, that's what I
true.
have for now.
I think
until I
I've
get paid.
gifted the most subs to Taption though.
I
Ooh.
think that's
Ooh.
true.
I mean, let's be honest here. Like, how many? Like, show of hands. How many times has Honest paid your internet bill?
Yeah. I could say that.
See, I'm just a generous guy.
You are. I was surprised that you only had $600 because I know how much you make with your work, and I was so surprised that only that much was saved. I was like, "Where are you spending all that money, brother?"
I mean,
Everything.
Us.
granted,
merch.
I did just spend a
That
good
too.
amount on over the holidays. I spent a lot, and then also I bought the 100 Thieves drop, which was another like 4
Of course.
hundo down the toilet.
Of course.
Well, not necessarily down the toilet. I got this nice ass Halo rug. Still haven't played Halo, but
How much were the 100 Thieves cookies that had Honest on them? How much were those?
those were $50.
Hey, that's not that bad. I thought they were
Yeah,
gonna be like
that's not horrible.
250. That's not too bad.
$50
That's not
for
too
a
bad.
12 pack of Honest 100 Thieves Oreos.
See, Honest just doesn't save his money. I save like as much money as I possibly can. Like I hoard it. I'm like a dragon. I'm like, dude, I have to I get when I get my paycheck, I'm like, okay, literally 80% of that goes into an account that I physically cannot pull the money out of. Because I'm just I'm not touching it. I know that if it's there, I will order Uber Eats or DoorDash and spend all of it. So it's gonna it has to go
Yep.
into an account that I cannot touch.
Lol.
Yeah, I have some that goes into a separate account, but it's like I use that when I'm that's why I used a lot for Christmas, was because that was what I used that was what I used. I have my
Interesting.
emergency funds that I never touch, but I have no idea what's in there right now.
That's
And
where
I
all
don't
of my
look.
money goes, into the emergency fund. I don't touch that. I don't look at it. I just deposit stuff into that account, and then I put my mom's name on it. I was like, so she can get the notifications. I was like, if you see me pull something out of here, like, yell at me. She's like, okay.
That's
got your
smart.
back.
You're responsible.
Yeah, I'm trying to be.
What about you, Chalupa?
Bro,
How much money you got?
COVID's been kind to me. I work too much.
Chalupa's
I don't-
always at work.
I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't know.
Is it
your wife
over?
in charge of the
Is it,
finances?
is it over 10K?
Considerably, but I don't know.
Considerably.
Chalupa's a
Wow.
responsible adult
I
Yeah, I
probably,
who
was gonna
works
say,
a
Chalupa's
really
a grown
hard
man.
job.
I probably haven't actually
True.
looked for like over a year. So
That's good though.
I don't know. A lot.
That's good though.
I know what my
Wow.
expenses are, and I know what I should make, and I know how much extra I work on top of that. So I mean, it's got to be a lot. But
Dang.
I don't manage my money that actively. Like it just
It does
what
its
it
thing.
does.
Yeah, you're just putting it in the bank and forget about it.
Yeah, we not there
Right.
yet. I'm trying to get like you. I'm trying to get like
I'm
you,
trying to be
Chalupa.
like you,
Yeah,
my
I'm
boy.
I'm trying to ball like Chalupa.
Facts. That's why you gotta save your money. That's why you put it in an account that you don't have to touch, and then like eventually you get to the point where you're like Chalupa and you don't have to worry about it. Like
It's true.
I'm not like
It's true.
actually responsible with money. I just don't
You don't
worry
see it.
about it because I don't see it enough. You know, like
Yeah, you
That's
don't
fair.
you don't have like it readily sitting in front of you, you know.
But if I was driving to work tomorrow and my car exploded, I'd be like, better go buy a car with cash. Yeah.
Jeez.
Woo.
Chalupa, what do you do for a living?
I'm a firefighter, paramedic.
Oh yeah.
that's how
He's
he
a
got the
government
Infinity Stone,
employee.
Corona
work-
Infinity
I work a
Stones,
lot.
y'all.
They've been making us work a lot more this year. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I bet y'all have been really busy.
My cousin's a
some of
firefighter.
that's voluntary.
There's this TikTok that I have to find. Did I send that to you, Chalupa? The TikTok about the firefighters and like the paramedics that like when they go in and it was like them like trying to talk down like all like these crazy like situations. I was like, this is how I imagine Chalupa worked. Did I
Oh,
send
yeah,
that to
yeah,
you?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
Pretty funny.
Where have you guys worked before? Like before you were a firefighter, before SG became server manager, you know, what did you do before?
Project manager.
Project manager.
Bro, I'll give you a whole rundown of all the crazy shit I've done.
Yeah.
Oh,
do
Oh,
it.
this ought to be good.
I was
Let's hear it.
I was 14
Tea.
when I started working. So I started working for my grandfather's heating and air company. So I do duct work. I did that for like 3 years over the summer, like 130 hours a week.
Damn.
Just crazy shit. I'd be working for like 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, constantly through the
Jeez.
whole summer. So like,
Damn.
Ooh.
I was like 14 and I come home over the year and I have like 32,000 about
Ooh.
just from working for like
Damn.
3.5 months over the summer.
Wow.
Did you save all of
Yeah.
it or most of it?
Oh hell no! I was so blatantly irresponsible. with money.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you
No,
got
it's
that
bad.
much, you know,
I wish
you
I
dropping
could
a
get away
hundo
with it
doesn't
when I was
feel
younger.
like you're
Yeah.
denting it, but you're actually doing that over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. for sure.
Mhm.
But when I went up to college, I ended up doing like in-home healthcare for a while, like taking care of people that are disabled and stuff, cooking meals, cleaning houses and shit. It was like absolutely the worst job I've ever had in my life. Don't recommend.
Damn.
But,
Did it pay well?
no, the pay was shit. All the people are like shitty to you all the time. I'm like, can't possibly recommend it. But after that, I got hired at Lowe's. So I was working at Lowe's. I was in the back doing unload shit, and then I promoted out to the floor, and then promoted to sales specialist. And I was a millwork sales specialist for 3 years. Which paid the
Dang,
bills
did
while I
that
was in
pay well?
college. Yeah, it paid decent. I mean, it was like
I mean,
18
sales
an hour,
manager,
you know?
it pays good.
It was decent enough. It was full-time
Yeah.
hours, and I was going through college, so I could cover the bills. And then I won't tell you where, but I moved back to my hometown, and I was a police officer there for 2 years. So that was an interesting
police
little
officer
foray.
turned firefighter.
Also, I don't really recommend police work to people either. Like it's just shitty all the time. I know, like there's people that surely that's the right career path for them, but for me, I was like, man, I can look back 6 months and be like, shit, I didn't really help a single fucking person. I'm just making people's lives worse.
Damn.
Like sending you to jail for dumb shit reasons that I don't think you should go to jail for to begin with.
That's fair.
Because I got tired of that shit, and my grandmother had some health trouble out in a different state, so I ended up moving out there, kind of on a whim, basically, because I was just like, fuck it, sounds good. Let's get out of here. So my wife and I moved, and then I worked at Walgreens for a year and a half. And I was assistant store manager at Walgreens, which, it wasn't that bad. Pretty much anyone that's ever worked in a pharmacy is going to tell you it's like the shittiest job on earth, which I mean it is, but it's not that bad. Every job sucks, I promise. And then from there, I joined the fire department. It's been easy.
Do you like the fire department like best out of all of those?
It's like different points in my life. Like right now, I can definitely say, yeah, absolutely. But like when I was younger, this probably isn't the job I'd have enjoyed the most.
Fair.
That's fair.
But I'll recommend it to anybody. There's no other job where you're gonna work 10 days a month, in theory.
Oh,
true.
Yeah,
True.
that's fair.
You work 24-hour shifts and you're off for 48 hours. So, in theory, COVID's
That's not too bad.
a big wrench
Well,
into that. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then Corona happened, and
I've
you were like,
worked
"Well,
out.
shit."
I probably made twice my salary this year.
Damn.
Wow.
So
From
Which,
overworking,
not bad.
understandable.
yeah,
Impressive.
but it's all good.
Out of the past jobs you have, which one paid the most? I guess firefighter is number one, but like.
So
outside of
technically, my second year as a police officer, I probably made more money just
Oh, okay.
because there were a lot of special events, overtime gigs, and stuff. So like I think I made like 113,000 that year, but
Wow.
I worked like almost every day. So
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
What about you,
I have a
Tapsin?
question.
enough.
Oh, no, I actually have one last question for Chalupa,
Yes.
since he was a
Yeah, yeah.
police officer. You know how a police officer has to meet like their quota for the year? So is it
Depends where
true
you're
that like they like ticket people that doesn't really deserve it to meet their quota? Is that a rumor
I mean,
or is that fact?
it really depends where you're at. I was at a very big department. It's got like 7,000 officers, so like no one gives a shit how many tickets you give out. It's just about
Damn.
doing police work and running calls. But I'm sure some of these smaller departments that got like 20, 100 officers, yeah, they probably have some kind of
Like
quotas to meet.
minimum.
If you're driving through the middle of
expectation.
nowhere, tickets is probably how they pay for half the government. So it
True.
wouldn't
Fair.
surprise
Well,
me.
and it's interesting that you say that because there's a town in Florida called Stark, and they got in a big legal trouble because they found out that they were setting up speed traps and stuff like that, specifically like ridiculous speed traps. Like it would drop the speed
Yeah.
from like 60 to like 25, like
Yeah.
in an instant. And
Jeez.
and then they would have cops just chilling out there to go and like just watch and make sure that people were catch them speeding. And it came out that like the department had like some unreal like quota that they had to meet for their
Yeah, I mean,
officers, and
if
so
we're being
they
real, like everyone's breaking a traffic law every like 2 minutes that they drive.
Yeah.
Like
True.
everybody drives like shit. Like you're speeding, or your tire tread's too low, or your windows are too tinted, or
Yeah.
you've
Just
got a
any
little crack
little
on your
thing.
windshield that's too
crack on
big,
your
like
windshield. Your license plate lights are burnt out.
Yeah.
True.
There's just so many things that are designed just to pull you over to see if there's something else going on.
Fair. That's
Yeah.
always been like a curiosity I had, so just wanted to ask. An actual
Yeah, I mean,
police officer.
quotas are definitely a thing in some departments, but they weren't in the one I worked at. But
Fair.
all right,
What was-
Tapshin, jobs.
Option. I guess to explain my career path, I gotta start in my college. I got a degree in human-centered design and engineering, to basically a department that focuses on UX design, research, product design, product management. So SG probably knows something about that field. Um, and basically, I out of college, I interned for a game company called Easy Time LLC. It was a startup, and I worked as an intern. And what I knew, but did not like get to experience is that interns get treated like shits and they don't get paid. So I worked there I originally signed to work there for 3 months, but they ended up extending the offer to another 3 months. So in total, I worked there for 6 months, and um, it was an experience. I'm not going to say it was like shitty or anything, but if I could work there again, would I? No, not really. But something that's really important in like the tech industry is like having the experience. Nobody really cares about the degree if you don't have experience. And the difficult thing is getting your first gig is really hard because literally they say it's an entry level job and they say college degree, minimum of 2 years of experience in this field. Like if it's an entry level job and you're looking for people with at least 2 years of experience, how am I supposed to get that fucking job?
Right? Like, what do you
it's
want
not
me to
actually
do,
an
bro?
entry level job.
I mean,
Yeah.
like entry level jobs, like you like it's really hard to get to out of college because they want you to be a college student because they want you to sign you right as you get out of college. In most of the tech industry, that's like how they work. And since I was getting my first gig after college, like it was really hard to get those jobs, and I was kind of in this awkward in between area where like I didn't have enough experience, but then I'm not in school anymore, so it's like they want to get me. So after a little looking around, I went to Easy Time LLC, and after that, I found another startup called Itemize, which is another tech startup that focuses on creating a web service that does certain things. And I originally got in there as an intern. I ended up being promoted all the way to a research lead until now, and that's where I've been working for past 7-8 months until now. And I'm now gonna move on to. I just actually this was like my last week at Itemize because I'm now gonna be moving over to Google to work as the assistant UX researcher there.
Spicy.
That's where I'll be for next year. So yeah.
Nice, congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
Tasha told me
awesome.
about that the other day. I was like, damn, Google? You got a Pixel?
Luckily, that wasn't the requirement to get in Google, so I got the pass on that one.
Fair.
But yeah, looking forward to my
Fawn?
future in the UX industry.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
Fawn,
gonna be
your
pretty
turn.
spicy. I'm trying to remember my first job. I think my first ever job was when I was 14. I was a band manager. So like I basically like called venues and stuff and like tried to get them like on shows and stuff like that. It was a weird job. I made sure that they were going to practice on time, that they were releasing all their stuff correctly, blah blah blah. It was really
14?
funny. Yeah, at 14. It was
Damn.
really funny. It was really,
Wow.
really, really funny. I mean, I was homeschooled, so like to me, it was like something that I was already used to doing, kind of sort of, because like I did my schoolwork and like, my mom was like, here's your schoolwork for the day, do it, get it done, blah blah blah, and then once you're finished, you can like move on. I started just doing all of my schoolwork, and I would just do my schoolwork for a week and like 2 days, and then I'd just be chilling for the rest of the week. So then I was like, trying to figure out something else to do, and that's what I did. I did band management, and it was fun. It wasn't like super complicated. It was really easy. This was simpler times. And then I worked for it was like a toy making company. Like she made bow and arrows, and it was like this lady and her 2 sons, and she lived like right across the street from me, and like she was really nice. And then I worked there for a little bit, and then I started waitressing, and I waitressed for a couple of years until I finished high school. Then I was waitressing, and working. I was waitressing at one Chinese restaurant in the beginning of the day, waitressing at a second Chinese restaurant at the end of the day, and then I would go home and I was working for my boyfriend at the time's game company because he had a game company, and so I drew fish for his for his game. And so like I had like 3 jobs at one time, and that was like the most chaotic point in my entire life. And then I quit working at the Chinese restaurants, just worked for the game company. Then I left the game company and I went back to waitressing and bartending, and oh my gosh, that job that I worked where I was bartending and waitressing, and I was managing that restaurant. Oh my god, like that was like the best job I've ever had, to be honest. I loved working there, and like on the weekends, we made money at the bar on the weekends. Yeah. We made money, and I was heavy-handed, so they loved me. They loved me.
The tips keeps on coming.
They were like, "Oh, that's a big shot." I said, "Yeah, it is, ain't it?" Yeah, so we made good tips, and then Corona happened. And then, of course, I stopped working, and then, like, you know, whole other life things happened where, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. We won't go into that. And then now I started streaming, and now I work for Bootcamp LLC, which is, you know, my actual favorite job because I get to do everything in my pajamas, so I'm happy.
That's fine right there.
Well, what about you, SG?
Okay. So at 14, I became a referee for soccer at the place where I was playing soccer. Then I had to quit doing that after a summer because my matches ended up being at the same times as like the ones I was getting scheduled to referee. So like obviously I'm playing. Screw that. Like I'm not gonna ref and that like I'm gonna go play. Like, you know, I'm on the starting lineup. Like I'm not gonna miss out on game time to go and ref a game. So did that and then I quit. And then at 16, I started working at Firehouse. I just was like a crew member. Did that for like 6 months, and then I got promoted to a team lead there. Did that for, let's see, I did that until I graduated high school, and then I did that for a year after I started college. Like I just transferred to another location, and did that there. And then I stopped working at Firehouse and I got a job working as a security officer, for an HOA management company. So I got my, you know, security license and did all of that. And then I did that for like 3 months before they were like, hey, you know, we really think you would be a phenomenal fit working at the corporate office as the front desk associate. I was like, sure, sounds good. And that was like my first like office job. So I went and I worked at the corporate office for the HOA company. Got to go do all the company events and stuff like that.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was a pretty good gig. That job actually, to this day, is the job that paid the most. Was sitting at the front desk, answering phone calls, emails, sending checks. Basically, like what you would think of like
just regular like desk associate, you know.
Yeah, desk associate. Yeah, like that. That's what I was doing. Going and getting lunch for the office. Like, yeah, that was a pretty good gig because like my boss would be like, hey, like our VP for the company worked in our office, so like he was there all the time. So like he would come in and be like, hey, we're getting lunch today, and if you go get it, I'll buy. And I was like, bet. So everyone else had to pay for their own, but mine was always paid for by my boss.
Hell yeah.
Which is pretty nice.
Free food.
Yeah. So I did that for, let's see, I did that for a little over a year. And then my girlfriend at the time was like, hey, I want to move to Orlando. Like, I want to go be closer to my parents. And I was like, okay. You know, there's not really an office that I can transfer to. So Like, it's fine, whatever. Like, we'll go. So I moved down to Orlando, started working found a firehouse that was down there. They brought me in as a shift lead for a month, and then was like, the GM at the time was like, I can't be the GM here anymore, because like he was a GM at two of the firehouse restaurants in this franchise group. So he went full time over to his other store, and they made me the GM of this store. I did that for like 2 years. And then the franchisee sold the franchise to somebody else. The new franchisee was like, I'm not going to pay you what you're asking for. So I was like, peace out. I left on a whim. Like, literally, she came in one day. She started like yelling at me for like overspending on something. And I was like, we've literally been running on fumes. Like, we have zero product in the store to sell because you don't listen to me when I tell you, like, this is how much we need to order. Like, and then you're surprised that we're out of product to sell. So like, I don't know what you want me to do. And she was like, well, whatever, like, just figure it out. I was like, well, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to magically make meat appear? Like, sure, I'll magically make this 14-pound ham just like appear out of thin air like Hermione. Like,
SGM is a meat bender.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're not gonna talk about jokes that can be made with that statement.
Don't go there. Don't take it there.
Oh my god.
I looked at chalupa and honest, and I was like, yeah.
Anyway, so she came in and she was yelling at me one day, and like, I just said, you know what? See you later. So I left. My entire crew that was working there on that shift all walked out at the same time, because they said the only reason that they were staying was because I was there. And then I come to find out, like, a week after I left, the rest of the staff had quit too. Because again, the only reason that they had stayed was because they liked me and the fact that like I was such a good boss for them, that they were like, yeah, fuck this, I'm out. So they left. And then like 6 months after that, I get a call from my buddy who worked at the Carrabba's next door, and was like, they just shut down the restaurant because they couldn't get anybody in to work there.
Yikes.
So the whole restaurant closed after I left.
Feels bad.
Wow.
And the owner had just signed like a 5-year lease for that space.
Oof.
So she's got to take the L on the 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, she was definitely steaming. Holy.
So I mean, the message of this story is, if you treat your employees like dog shit, you know, you don't have a business.
That's what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
you're gonna get
dog shit.
Sucks. I mean, it really sucks. But like, as a GM, I was making $11 an hour. As a general manager of a restaurant.
I was making more than that as an assistant manager.
Working 45 hours a week. I was making $11 an hour. And I asked for a raise. I asked for a raise to 15 because I didn't think that was that crazy, right? I didn't think that was that crazy for a GM.
Chalupa.
You know, I'm part of the void. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I'm back.
Yeah, and she literally laughed in my face. She laughed in my face when I asked for 15. She was like, "There's no way in hell."
Goodbye.
And I was like,
I gotta go.
You're paying my employees minimum wage anyway. Like, they're making $8.75. Like,
jeez.
What are you trying to tell me? I know what the numbers look like. Like, I made the budget for you. Like, I know how much money you have. You can afford to pay me $15 an hour, and you can afford to pay my employees 10. Like, at that point, I was literally making $1 more than my team leads.
Damn.
$1 more than my team leads were making as a GM. I was like, yeah, this is not it. So I left.
Ain't no way.
And then I started working at Academy. And I was doing for those of you that don't know what Academy is, it's like a Dick's Sporting Goods, or what's the other, like a Cabela's or Cabela's, is like Bass Pro Shops version. So like that's what Academy is. I did inventory control for them for a while, and then I got moved up to a team lead. And then I left that when I started doing work for boot camp. So like, what was it, like 2 or 3 months into working for boot camp, I was like, they were ready to give me a contract, and I was going to be making enough to pay my bills. And I was like, I see a much better future working for a company like this than working for a big corporation like that. I was just over retail at that point. Like I was over retail. I mean, I was waking up at like, chalupa is going to be like, bro, this is like nothing. but like, I was waking up at like, I was doing everything. So like I would work trucks and have to be at work at 3 a.m. and work 3 a.m. to like 2 p.m. Or I would be coming in at 5 a.m. to do counts, or I'd be coming in at 7, or like the worst thing was like if they would be like, hey, you're closing, and then you've got to work truck the next morning at 3. Ooh. So I'd get out of work at 10 and have to be at work again at 3 a.m. And I was like, I can't keep doing this, because it wasn't in my job description to be doing that stuff. I was doing it to help them out. And then they were like, all of a sudden they just started scheduling it to me. Like, I was like, you can't do this. And when I said that, they were like, well, then they started cutting my hours, and I was like, I'm out. Peace. I'll go work for this other company and sit at my desk all day.
Yeah.
I think work-life balance in retail is probably the worst out of any, like.
It's true.
Like restaurants is bad, but retail, they will take advantage of you.
Hard.
I mean, restaurants will too, though, because like I remember our chef was working like literally like 16, 17 hours a day, like almost. It was crazy. Like they will get you if you let them.
Restaurants will go hard too. That's the thing, is that like there's like a fine line between like wanting to go the extra mile for your employer versus like doing it a couple times and then it being the expectation from then on. Of that, like, oh, okay, your minimum expectation is that you're going the extra mile every day.
Right. And then it's like, bro, I ain't signed up for all that.
What the fuck? Like, pay me for that at least.
Exactly. Give me the money for it. Like, hello? All right, Honest, your turn.
So I initially worked for a warehouse, and this was when I was 18. When I was 16, I worked for Sears, which long gone now, but Sears was a huge clothing brand. I mean, most of the stores are gone. Yeah, there's still like a couple, like the largest ones are still open, but the ones that were like pretty big are no longer in existence. That's how hard they got beat,
Yikes.
And so basically look at green chalupa.
But his actual cam's fine. I'm so confused.
My camera's like losing its mind through the encoding. I'm not really sure why.
I know. I kind of like it though. You look like the Hulk. Or like
green.
It's literally only in Honest's version.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because his actual camera's fine. There you go.
Oh.
What the heck?
Okay, continue, Honest. Continue.
But so I worked for Sears for a little, and that was like my first like experience into sales, because I was a cashier, and basically like when you would ring out your clothes, I could be like, oh, if you sign up for a Sears credit card, you can get 15% off, right? And then if they don't qualify for the big card, there's a smaller card that gives them 10% off, right? And if I had someone just sign up, even if they didn't qualify, I get $4 for the bigger card and $2 for the smaller card. So $6 per customer I would just get. right? And so
And
I was
Honest
like,
is good at talking people into getting stuff, so I feel
I was like, okay. I wasn't good at the time because I was still like pretty shy. I was a shy kid.
oh.
And so I like was doing decent, like making decent money, like maybe like close to $14 an hour, but my actual hourly was only like $7.50 or something.
Damn.
So I was
Pretty
like
good
doubling my income from those Sears credit cards. But then like I like to go the extra mile. So similar to SG, like they just started expecting that of me. But the only problem is that I was getting paid less for going the extra mile because I was being assigned to do all of this other shit. And so then I couldn't sell the credit cards as often. So I was basically lowering my wage to help them. And then I was like, yeah, can we just like close that gap a little? I'm not asking for extra. Just close that gap. And they were like, no. And so I was like,
And so you were like, bye.
No.
later. Yeah, so I left.
Out of here. Peace.
I left there and got a job at Syntech Global, which is like a multi-level marketing company that I was working at the warehouse for, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's a global MLM company, but yeah, it was for fuel additive, was like the product. And so I was bottling up fuel additive, packaging it, selling it, whatever, right? Or not selling it, shipping it off. And it was so fun in the sense of like, we were like chill. We were all like chill, hanging back there, doing whatever all the time. But it was freaking messy. Because like if the machine messed up, it would puncture one of the bottles when you were trying to wrap it.
Oh.
And fuel additive,
Excuse me?
for those that don't know, it's horrible smelling. But if you get it on your hands, shit like will itch for hours.
Oh, shit.
Hours.
Was
dude.
this a common occurrence?
Yeah, like daily. I'd have to fix
No,
it.
honey.
I got good at it to the point where like I wouldn't get it on my hands, but it reeked the whole warehouse if we popped one bottle. And so it was fun, but like wouldn't do it again. That's for sure. It was a good experience at the time. But
Yeah, I
the
don't
only
blame
problem
you.
with working there is I became more introverted again, right? Like I didn't get good at talking to people because I just talked to my 6 coworkers all the time. And so when I left there, well, they basically laid me off because the international portion of the company started going down. So they're like, oh, we had to update everyone's hours. And I go look at the calendar and 0 hours. I had 0 hours. I was the head of international shipping. I had 0 hours. And I was like, the heck? So then I go talk to him and he's like, oh, yeah, we just didn't need you this week. And I'm like, well, what happens when you don't need me next week? So I just quit right then and there.
Damn.
I don't blame you.
So
Straight up.
I quit, got a part-time job at Best Buy, which was lit, but they really don't pay that well.
Yeah. Probably
But their
You get
discounts
discounts?
are
Yeah, I was gonna say.
fire. Fire, dude. Like, to put in perspective how much money they make, like a 24-foot long HDMI cable, right? A rocket fish cable, like pretty solid, like heavy duty, pretty nice, is $50. But if I wanted to buy it with my discount, it was $1.70.
Huh?
They make
Yeah, right.
$49 in profit off of that cable.
What if you wanted to buy like a new keyboard?
Yeah, any accessory was just dirt cheap.
Y'all know anybody that work at Best Buy?
Literally,
Keyboard.
I got 10-foot long charging cables for like 75 cents that are being sold for $25, you know?
I actually think I know somebody that works at
Yeah. If you can meet someone that works at Best Buy, get that hookup. Like, I have my
Alright, wait a
Logitech
minute.
speakers still. I have this whole surround sound Logitech speakers with a sub and everything that is $140. I spent $32, I think, to buy all of it.
Oh my
Are you
god.
serious?
So that was pretty nice.
Fun, did you just hit him up?
Yeah, I did. I need a new keyboard, bro.
Yo, get me some headphones while you're at it, bro.
I got you.
Same. Hit me up too.
Yeah, get me some. Yeah, we'll send you a list.
I got you.
Yeah, we'll send you a list.
I'm like, listen.
Yeah,
Low-key
so
not
that was
joking about
lit.
the headphones.
And while I was there, I was like applying into their jobs because Best Buy would only give me part-time. And this was when the iPhone 6S was coming out. I went back to the Verizon kiosk that I bought my phone from and applied there and ended up working there for 2.5 years at a kiosk, a little stand in the middle of the hallway at the mall.
Did you like
And nobody
that? Was
ever
that
wants
fun?
to talk to you when you're
That's
at the
true.
kiosk in the mall, right?
That is true.
Nope.
And so you have to be pretty clever to get people to come and talk to you. So the way that I did it was I would stand outside of the kiosk in the middle of the hallway, like basically blocking the way. And I would be like, "Oh, hey, I'm Alex. What's your name?" And hold my hand out for them to shake my hand. And kid you not, 75% probably shook my hand.
I'm the 25% because I
introduce
would have looked
themselves.
at you.
I'm like-
I would have been like, you'd be like, I'm Alex. I'd be like, good for you.
Better than having to be a meat
and,
bender.
and then I
My god.
so and I would shake their hand and I'd be like, hey, I'm not like the other kiosk people. Like, I just want to see if I can save you money on your phone bill. And then I would let go of their hand and just walk back to the kiosk. And more than half would follow me to the kiosk because now they're like contractually in this conversation with me.
They're forced to follow you.
Yeah. They would feel
Honest, out
obligated
here.
because now they started it.
He's guilt tripping into Hey,
Literally.
man.
Hey,
Whatever
and
works.
I made a lot of money.
Works.
I made a lot of money. So it was straight commission when I first started. It's not anymore because people are whiners, right? So now it's like hourly plus commission, which sucks, by the way. If you could get somewhere that's straight commission, that's way better. Because I like if I wanted to sell a screen protector for someone's phone, right? I had the freedom to adjust the price to whatever I wanted.
Whoa.
Oh,
And-
that's what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we this was when 2-year contracts were dying, right?
Uh-huh.
And so financing was now the new thing. But people really don't pay attention to phone carriers that much, right? And so we would be like, well, if somebody wanted the newest iPhone, normally that's $300 up front, right? For their 2-year contract. But now, since we're doing financing, it's only like $60 because they just have to pay the taxes on the phone. But they don't know that. So we would be like, yeah, you can get the brand new iPhone for $299 out the door. And we'll since we're here, like we'll throw in a case, a screen protector, and a car charger. Or whatever. We just throw in whatever, right? Whatever had a spiff, we'd throw it in there. No additional cost is what we would say. We never said free because that's a lie. We said no additional cost.
Not lying, just
We're not lying. We're just twisting the words a little
twisting
bit,
the
right?
truth a little bit. Okay.
And the
Me
crazy
and the
thing
boy are
is that
told.
some people would be like, "Oh no, we're gonna get our own case." And we'd be like, "Okay." but we didn't want to. We're not lying, right? So
Right.
we're still gonna honor that they're gonna pay $2.99 out the door. So if they don't want any of the other accessories except for the screen protector, we just hike up the price of the screen protector to make it $2.99.
Oh my god.
Are you serious?
You rip-off?
I've sold $180 screen protector. But the best thing about it being straight commission was, so the screen protector itself at cost was $17, right? It was either 17 or 10, depending on which screen protector you went with. Most of the time we went with one that was 10. Eventually we didn't have any more of those. But let's say the cost is 10 and I sell it for 180, right? Half of that money, half of that difference, that $170 goes straight into my pocket. 50% goes right into my pocket.
Honest was out here scamming in his youth.
I
Oh,
know.
we made some money. That was the shit. I loved that. That was awesome. Then I ended up, then the company I worked for got bought out. They changed the pay structure to hourly plus commission. Couldn't change any prices anymore, which was more honorable. Not gonna lie, you know. I like not feeling like a sleazy salesman, you know.
That's why you're called honest.
A lot
not
better.
honorable.
Yeah, that's why I'm honest, you know. I never
You're
lied.
not, you know.
I never not once
lied.
did I lie.
Yeah. If I told you $2.99, I made sure it was $2.99. If you didn't want all the other extra stuff I was gonna give you for that $2.99, that's on you.
Oh my god.
It was an opt-out policy.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Gosh.
and so then after that, I left. So it was Diamond Wireless, which is the Verizon retailer that got bought out. I then went to Titan Mobile, which was a T-Mobile retailer owned by the same people who owned a Diamond, because basically they sold Diamond, and like as far as like the rules, they can't make another Verizon retailer for like 5 years. It's like the contractually, if you sell a retailer, you can't make another one. And so instead, they had the VP create Titan Mobile, a competitor for T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah. So he creates Titan. I move over to Titan. Within 3 months, I had my own store. Was manager of my own store, which was lit. I was there for like 2.5 years and found out about Enjoy after winning. So when I won this award called the Titan Cup, which was awarded to the top sales rep in the state. And since I was number one in Utah, I won, and it was an all expenses paid cruise to Mexico and Catalina Islands for me and a guest. So I got to bring Michelle.
Damn.
Oh my god.
It was awesome, right? After I win, go on the trip, everything, I come back and then I add it to my LinkedIn. Within days, I'm hit up over and over again for different jobs. Because I was like, I guess I was a hot commodity or something. But one stood out among the pack, which was Enjoy, which is where I work now. It was a startup company, basically just delivering phones for AT&T. And when I was interested, so I interviewed with them, and they broke down basically what they were doing, and I was like, dude, I'm getting in early. This thing's gonna pop off. I know it. So decided to go work there, take the chance, left my cozy manager spot for this, which was a little bit of a pay cut. And then now I'm making more than I would have as a manager, for sure, at T-Mobile.
Nice.
But we've gone like public and everything in the past 2.5 years since I've worked there. And they gave me 400 shares into the company when I first got hired, which were selling for like 80 cents. So I got 400 shares at 80 cents a pop. And when we went public, the day of, it spiked to $10. Now, like, all of the market is down, so it's at like 3. But when everything goes back to normal, it typically is around like 10.
Nice.
Which is like $6,000-$7,000 plus that I'm just gonna pocket.
You made the right decision to move on to a new job.
Yeah.
Bags.
And so I've been with Enjoy ever since.
Sweet.
Very nice.
And I interviewed for captain. So
Hopefully you
hear
get the
back on
captain.
that.
I believe in you.
Look at me.
It's gonna be a lot
Look
of
at
money.
me. Look at me. I am the captain now.
I'm the captain now.
I am the captain.
Literally,
now.
I say that shit all the time because they basically have me as acting captain. So like, I'm basically the captain without the title yet. So I can't like fire anyone or anything. But like
That's what
my
he's
rules
waiting
kind
for.
of stay in place, right?
He's
the power
got
to,
someone
you
on his
will.
list.
I'm ready.
Mhm.
I'm ready to cut freaking. Oh, you're slacking? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm the one that decides
Yeah.
whether or not you stay. Aww.
You would get off of firing someone. You would literally be like, oh, You're fired.
Oh my god.
Well, this has been a
This is
very fun.
this is why we can't have
non-specific
nice
topicless
things.
all right, let's
conversation.
wrap this up. Let's
Yeah.
wrap this up.
Anyway,
I gotta go. I got
Yep.
the attorney. Goodbye.
thank you guys for tuning into the Savvy Scoundrel Slayers podcast, episode number 9. Tune in next week for episode number 10, where we're going to be doing something super, super special for you guys. So we will see you guys next week for our super special 10th episode podcast. For now, that's all. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Players out.
Bye.
I love it.
I really went to turn off my streaming button. I was like, oh, in stream, and then I was like, wait, that's not me.